New phase of the struggle where we have moved from a struggle for decency, which characterized our struggle for 10 or 12 years, to a struggle for genuine equality. And this is where we are getting the resistance, because there was never any intention to go this far. People were reacting to Bull Connor and to Jim Clark rather than acting in good faith for the realization of genuine equality.
Do you think white people in this country, and I'm talking about non-segregationists, people devoid or thinking they're devoid of racism, do you have any idea of what they want the Negro to be in America?
Well, it depends on the level that we are talking here, because I think you have to make a distinction between the people who are genuinely and absolutely committed in the white community on the question of racial equality. And I must confess that I think they're in a very small minority. I think the vast majority of white Americans will go but so far. It's a kind of installment plan for equality, and they are always looking for an excuse to go but so far.
Why are they looking for the excuse? What is it about the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
That's a part of it, and that grows out of something else. You can't thingify anything without depersonalizing that something. If you use something as a means to an end, at that moment you make it a thing and you depersonalize it. The fact is that the Negro was a slave in this country for 244 years. That was a willful thing that was done. The Negro was brought here and changed, treated in very inhuman fashion. And this led to the thingification of the Negro. So he was not looked upon as a person. He was not looked upon as a human being with the same status and worth as other human beings. And the other thing is that human beings cannot continue to do wrong without eventually rationalizing that wrong. So slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma, and that can never be overlooked. So I think these things are absolutely necessary. The other thing is that America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps, but it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
Apart from wanting to
Yeah, so basically, this MLK Day, I did not even know it was MLK Day. So pretty much I got time on my hands this morning. Um, have the day off. It is cold. It's one of the coldest days. Uh, it's been this winter thus far. Um, I'm seeing, I didn't know it was MLK Day, so I did my daily commute, and I saw some things during my daily commute that I can't unfortunately unsee. So made it to the train station. I saw a whole bunch of homeless people, and it was like the homeless people that I don't know, like they were, I guess, somewhere else because I didn't see a lot of these people before. It was like new faces. And then what I saw was I saw a couple chicks that was homeless, and it was tripped out because I know, like I know my uncle, man, rest in peace. Like he used to pick up like homeless women and take kind of like see if he could, get, keep them warm, in all the right places, give them a shower, you know, that 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 was what he did. But I myself, I understand the logic of it, right? But you taking too many risks, and that's desperation. You shouldn't be if you that desperate. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're past the point of like a lot of different things, and the thing is that it trips me out when I see that, and and I'm not talking about older women. A lot of times, the homeless women that I do see, unfortunately, are homeless, are older women that look like they're probably in their late 40s or 50s. Um, Definitely older than 35, I would say. The homeless women that I do see, most of the time they have some type of mental illness where it's like they just the crack brings it out of them. Even you could even say like crack, a lot of them on crack, so they, it just, man, that crack, man, it just messes you up, man. And they a lot of times the women that be on crack, they be on it for a long time, so like they age out. They literally hit the wall and smoke crack, hit the pipe, and then it's like they just stuck. Like it's sad, man. I hate to talk about this type of stuff this morning, but I'm gonna tell you something. Basically, okay, I was gonna talk about the differences between Virgo and Aries. And Virgo and Aries have a very similar traits in a sense where, okay, this is what an Aries will tell you. Basically, both male and female, they go a lot of what the superpower with Aries is. The sign Aries is that they see things for what they are, even if others don't see red flags and certain signs about things. Aries, they see it, and they might not like the reality of it or might be indifferent about it, but they see what they see. An Aries man, woman, whatever they see, it is what it is. They might not tell you that, or they might talk about it, but they, no matter how you talk them out of it or try to talk them out of it or see things a different way, once they realize reality and that it is the reality, they don't, divert from it. They just move accordingly. They don't like try to sugarcoat it. They don't put it to the side. It just is what it is. Whatever it is, good or bad, they see it how it is. They might not necessarily tell you that, you know, because they know probably you don't see things the way they do. Um, Virgos do the same thing, but we go a little bit more in depth where we'll try to explain it, theorize it, try to break it down like why that particular problem, the way that we see things is the way, like, explain scientifically how it is, possibly, or we'll say we'll look into it, because the thing is Virgos also see things the way things are, even if we don't necessarily might move into it, or we might be indifferent, or we will just deal with it the best way we can, but we'll know what's going on. We'll see what's going on with you. We'll see your traits, your problems, you personally, the obvious things, and then the things that are not so obvious. And we'll hold them too. We won't tell you. But what we'll do is we'll store it up and make a journal and a memory of, okay, this is this person's weakness, this is that person's weakness, this is what this person does that's full of shit or contradictory, or he's basically the, or she is the pot turning the kettle black, meaning they say one thing but they do the same thing they say. So it's like, it's a lot of stuff like that. We'll just kind of store it away, and then we'll unleash the vault, when it's time to, if it's appropriate. But the thing is that, yeah, I myself, I mean, I'm Virgo. I see things for what they are, um, even if I don't necessarily like them, even if it might be even hard for me to see it the way it is. Okay, it might even be kind of stressful for me to see things a certain type of way, but I have to deal with it the best way I can. But that doesn't mean that I don't see it. And sometimes even Virgos might even try to ignore certain red flags or certain things. And it's like, you know, um, sometimes it's just you store so much and you gotta kind of get it out. You know what I'm saying? It's like pretty much over a while you'll have so much that you've witnessed and stuff like that. You just kind of got to get it out. But yeah, man, the chick that was she was kind of thick, man. I don't know how she looked in the face, but it is dudes that'll sleep with a chick that got a nice body and they don't really look good, and they call them butter faces. Everything looks good butter face. um I think about the worst when I think, I mean, when I see chicks, man, I know they need help. So if I know they need help and I'm not able to really help them, or I don't, let's just say I don't want to help them because I just don't want to deal with it, I just don't deal with it. But, you know, I mean, most of the time, one of the reasons you already got to understand that if a woman needs your help already off top, even if she says she don't need your help, she already needs your help, because that's just pretty much um what she already is looking for. You know what I'm saying? That's just off top. So I'm gonna play a couple games of chess and see how many games I want to actually play. Because this is like kind of like what I would like to do, probably more often, but I don't necessarily have the time to do it because I'm always, pretty much either working or sleeping. I'm gonna say this, like, it's a trade-off. It sucks. Um, I mean, I make money. I had to hustle last year to make, what I made. But yeah, you kind of like you just gotta kind of look at it like this. You just gotta keep building that momentum. And I'm gonna be honest, when you going around a bunch of people that's homeless, that makes you appreciate what you already have and how far you came. If you've come from kind of a lowly mean or a lowly state where you were struggling, when you actually get to a better place, you appreciate the fact that you are not struggling like that, and you understand momentum. Like, unfortunately, the reality is you either really, to be honest, either have a couple things. You either have the cash saved, as far as money saved, that you can ride out, a time where if you wanted to quit your job, right? Let's just point a picture as far as quitting your job. Realistically, you already have money, capital saved. One, two, you have a business that already is pretty much making profit to where you can make money off of your business. You don't have to work a job. You can retire from your job or resign, and you can go right into what you already have, which is your thriving business. Okay, that's hard as well, right? Um, and the third thing is you could just, quit your job. You just, try your best and, stick your chest out and, go for broke. That's the most risky way to do it. And I would say that's not the way to do it. How my grandfather did it was he basically saved a lot of money before he opened his business with his business partner. They both came to the table with money, to get licenses, to get liquor licenses and stuff like that, pharmacy licenses, whatever that was needed to start his business. He had worked for a period of time, years, and he saved his money. That's how we did it. Okay. um and I've done it that way, but I didn't save that much, and I didn't work that long. I kind of did a combination of both. I basically worked, and then I saved a little bit, and then I basically just I just took the risk and just went out there. If you live with your parents, you live with even any of your family members or something like that, you can easily do it because you got some type of help. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get off that. If you have a business and you live with your parents, that's absolutely the best way to actually start a business. I know that sounds crazy probably for you to even comprehend, but um absolutely that's a good way. Or even if you have a girlfriend that she's supportive, and she understands the mission and what you're trying to accomplish, and you do make some money, you could probably even make a whole bunch of money, and you can contribute something from that business, you know so basically, um that's what you could do. I mean, I certainly did it, so yep, you can definitely do that. So let's just go right here. Oh, he hasn't moved yet. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of boring. It's a boring life. Making money and building up momentum is a boring life. It's a it's a fun life because having money is fun. Okay, um, you obviously know that because that's why people play the lottery. That's why people go to work. I mean, work ain't fun. That's obvious, right? But having a business and making money from a business, it's very, very boring and repetitive. That's why people don't do it. Um, it is it's very boring. So I put the bishop in a I put him under arrest. Basically, I arrested the bishop. He can't move. So I'm gonna just keep doing what I gotta do. The bishop is trapped. So this guy's from Qatar. So I'm putting the pressure on this guy. But actually that was actually a bad move. It's interesting because that night it was very key for him. So now I'm up one. I mean, no, he's up one. He was pretty higher. Wow. He don't got no time. Five seconds left. He got a checkmate. So we back in America. Yeah, he got that one. It was whoever got their queen first. Yeah, this shit, it's just competitive, man. You know, kind of helps me realize how my thinking is, if it's good, if it's off or not. I mean, I know I ain't really on 100% because it's kind of so sleep is definitely an issue. This guy's bearing down on me with a couple different strategies that I'm somewhat familiar with. Yeah, seeing things for what they actually are, you know, not ignoring the red flags. Seeing things for what they actually are. You know, another thing is I find that um, there's opportunity with sports betting, like to actually kind of make some money if you study it. There's some opportunity there to make a little money. You know, you don't necessarily all the time got to go for the traps. See the trap, don't go for it. So let me see something for a second. Okay. So we still about even. We still about even. Yeah. See, I was just, pretty much I seen this dude was or whoever this person is pretty skillful for a low rating. I saw that and I had to set up some traps. I had to be sort of manipulative to win this game because basically if he would have moved if he couldn't move here if he only move he had was like either here or here, and either way if he basically if he moves if he moves that way he moves the basically the pawn down, and then all I have to do is just take it. Then he could try to move the other piece, but then I'll just take it because I got the queen blocking his direction. He can't come through because the queen is in his line of sight. So basically, I can just take both of these pieces, or even I could move my queen down, and he'll be in checkmate. He's facing checkmate if he moves. He basically would have to move his queen, or even just this pawn here. He didn't really have no chance. So I had to be manipulative to win that game. Some people you got to play different. Everybody's different. that was my first time playing that person, but I can kind of tell by the certain moves that he was trying. He was trying to be manipulative in a sense. He was setting up traps. He was, trying to use some type of strategy. So how I beat him was basically I beat him at his own game. I set up my own traps that were very obvious, but in the end, I was able to get him because my end game was better. I figured out what he was trying to do, and then I countered it. I see what he's trying to do, so I'm going to move accordingly. Now I'm going to do something unconventional because basically he's trying to set me up with his queen. His queen is way too close. So, boom. I got a simp. Called a simp. Yep, I called a simp. He didn't, I saw he was favoring his queen. So I basically saw him favoring his queen in the first place. So what I did, I basically I caught him basically kind of just with a deer in his head, a deer in his headlights, because he didn't want to trade off his queen. Because he didn't want to trade off his queen, that cost him. That cost him dearly because he wants he's so favored of his pieces or whatever. I'm already up 8. I can't still afford to do anything stupid. He's burning time trying to figure out how to not be a simp. He's reading a how to not be a simp for dummies book as fast as he can, but unfortunately for him, is nothing he could do about it. There's nothing he could do about it. He's already got caught being a simp, and it cost him dearly. And he gave up his queen. It happens. It happens every day. He gave up his queen um, because he basically didn't see that his queen was unprotected. So he doesn't want to. He's still and he just trying to do the best he can to not lose. Oh, I had his ass. Damn, I moved prematurely. I had him. I had his ass because basically I had him. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Well, that's not gonna necessarily work. That's what I'll do here. It ain't necessarily gonna work either. I figured that, but this will work. Okay, so now this will work. Yeah, this will work. So I basically walked him into a checkmate. Okay, so I walked him into a checkmate basically. He could move here. He couldn't move there because I had the bishop bearing down on him. So yeah, so I basically walked him into a checkmate. He knew he fucked up when he got his queen, when he lost his queen. So now we in this look like Turkey somewhere. Oh, it say Turkiya. It don't say Turkey. It say Turkey with Turkey IYE. That's interesting. We gotta look that one up. Turkey. What is that? Oh, that's Turkey. Okay. All right. The Ottoman Empire. See, they what they don't tell you is that the Crusades really never ended. That's what we got. 2024, it's just the Crusades. Um, and basically, the Crusades shaped a lot of what you see today. The Crusades had something to do with it. And they don't really like to make a lot of movies about the Crusades, but they will make one every now and again. Um, the thing is that the Ottomans, they had a lot to do with the history. They put a lot of pressure on basically Europe and even the last remnants of the Roman Empire. They put a lot of pressure on shaping Europe. You know, they work basically hand in hand in like Western Europe. Um, a lot of that basically has something to do with why things are the way they are today. It's quite a bit, a reason why things are the way they are today. Because of the Crusades and that history. Pretty much. So all he got to do is move, and then I have me something. I really probably would. Yeah, I'll be all right with it. I'll take a Turkish bride, but he sees it. He sees that move most likely. Oh, but he has it protected. He sees that he has it protected. So I just keep applying pressure where it is. I just apply pressure because I still see that move. That move is still possible. So I just, kind of exploit the fact that, I got that situation and I still got it. So basically he had to give it to me. You know what I'm saying? And then to add insult to injury, I get the wife in a home too because he still got to move, and then that don't change nothing. I'm still in path to get a house too. You know what I'm saying? They still ain't nothing changed but the day. I'm still entitled. You know what I'm saying? So I just boom, okay, pressure. Now he's in a tizzy. Now I really didn't want the house. It wasn't really no big deal. It wasn't about that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about no house, really. You know what I'm saying? Really, you know what I'm saying? Let me take that from you. Yeah, yeah. We were in the Ottoman Empire, of course. Black people. Um, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what I'm getting at. Yeah, we were in the Ottoman Empire. We was kings. We was kings. So he wants to play me a rematch. Okay. He wants to play a rematch. So I'll just, I'll play the rematch. This will be the only rematch that I'll have. And then I'll be up 4-2 instead of if I would have stopped today, I would have just been up. I would have been up only um 2-2. Oh, I gotta move this motherfucker out of harm's way. He almost had me. Had me. Almost had a brother. But he got me under duress because he bearing down on my king. So I gotta put something on it. Can't have that. Then I gotta raise up. I gotta raise up too. He trying to raise up on a brother. Brother. Can't have that. So we gonna have to raise up. So I gotta raise up on a brother. Oh man. Oh man. Gotta raise up on a brother. We already, well, let's, put pressure on this queen. Don't forget, we still got that bishop. Still got that bishop. And then I think we got Zook Swan. Yo! Yeah, I saw that Zook Swan. Finally saw it. Finally saw that boy. So yeah, we got him. He had me though, but I'm no amateur. You know what I'm saying? I guess I am, but I'm not a. I mean, I got some understandings about me. But the thing is that I saw that Zook Swine, and you know, that's what I saw. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. That's why it's important to always have your pieces where you can move. Because you could checkmate your own damn self. It's like a football player running into another football player and then getting injured. I know he was like, damn, this motherfucker, he goddamn it. He don't miss nothing. Got me. Got my ass. Got my butt. Got me. So yeah, I made a little money off of I made a little money off of that game yesterday with Detroit and the Rams. Made a little bread. Yes, sir. Made a little bread. So let's watch some videos. Let's see what videos we can come up with. Let's see what the ladies be talking about online. Another segment of what the ladies be talking about online.
I would love to spend our post show talking about all the things we love about black men.
I think the assumption that black men know that they are loved is dangerous.
Come on.
I love black men's playfulness.
Oh,
just seeing like black men and just their happiness and their joy or whatever, that is just like that's infectious.
When I tell you the swag of a confident.
See, I be saying you ain't gotta do nothing but just be you. You be the best version of yourself. Dress good, smell good, live good. You know, take care of yourself, be good, and boom, you know, you gon' leave the house with a certain essence about yourself. Women can see you, you know what I'm saying? They can see you, you know, they can feel your energy, you know what I'm saying? It's not hard, man. It's not hard. It's just you might be in a location, man, that you might be in a location that might be hard for you, man. You might have to get all I can say is you might have to get some wings up. Might have to get your wings up, you know what I'm saying? You know, you might have to get you a blue card too. You know, you might have to get you a blue card. You know what I'm saying? Get you a blue card. You know what I'm saying? Have you a backup credit card, emergency credit card. You know, and then yeah, you know what I'm saying? Have you, you know what I'm saying? How you know what I'm saying? Like a you know, get out of town, you know, get out, you know what I'm saying? Get out of here, kid. You know, yeah, man. At the end of the day, You know, that's what you got to do, man. You just got to be the best version of you, man. That's why I try to do what I try to do, man, so I can show you, you know, fuck these haters. Be the best version of yourself.
Can undo all draws.
At any generation.
Any generation.
Any generation.
Lord.
It is.
Lord.
It is. Yeah, I see why y'all
Woo.
be trying to harvest our stem cells. It's different.
Black men who love black women.
And who are
it.
unapologetic about it.
Oh my God, unapologetically. And loving black women doesn't have to be a sexual thing, right? Like the black men who contribute to my life to help make sure that I'm taken care of because they fuck with black women.
A black man that communicates. A black man with a haircut.
Now, I don't know if that makes me happy
or scared.
That confidence that comes with the taper.
Haircut confidence. The cut confidence.
They be looking good.
They be looking good. Or a black man in a suit. Woo! A black man in a suit with cut confidence.
Well,
smelling good.
You know, you gotta eat your breakfast, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you get your breakfast. But yeah. So, you know, these are the type of the women, these are like, you know, your kind of like in between women, like 3. I did a 1 through 10 scale yesterday. So these are like kind of your mid-tier women, upper mid-tier types of women. Because you got to understand, man, you got to have a woman that you can get along with. If you can't get along with the chick in an apartment or whatever, you can't get along with her in no mansion either. You know what I'm saying? You just can't get along with her. Oh, we're gonna look up some real estate. We're gonna talk about real estate. We're gonna look up some local real estate in Cook County. We're gonna look up some real estate. Because just about, I'll say about once a week, I just see what's on the market. Like, I just see what, you know, real estate they have for sale. Like, this is one of the most expensive homes in Cook County right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who owned this house or this mansion, but they got this on the market for $23 million, and this is 6 bedrooms, 7.5 baths, 2,500 square feet. You got some type of figurine pouring glass, pouring water. That's actually the sign of Aquarius right there. That's Aquarius. You got like some type of courtyard. Look, it kind of looked like you in France, but you really in Chicago, or you in England or something, but you really in Chicago. Or this is like an English garden. That's what this called. It's an English garden. This pastry is life, man. So you got like, you know what I'm saying, your own college. This could be like turned into a private school. I mean, like all kind of stuff, man. This thing is big. Outdoor fireplace. Of course, you know, plants, outdoor plants. I mean, the landscaping work that got to be the upkeep on this property. You're going to have to pay a landscaping company, man, a lot of money to manage this every, you know, at least, I mean, like you got to give them like a year contract or something like that. Just to keep up your outside of your property, because the landscaping is, you got your own arboretum outside, you know. Because it's cold, you really can't really do too much. If this was in Florida, you can have like wild animals. See, like, you know, this is something you could rent your house out, your mansion out for weddings, proms, but it can't be just no regular prom. So you figure this house, $23 million. You put this on Airbnb or whatever, your own private listing or whatever the case may be. You do it yourself because your house is, everybody gonna know your house, who your house is, and they know about this house. I'm not the only person that knows about this mansion. Now, this is where it's located. I'm trying to see what neighborhood this is. So this is Lincoln Park, okay. So basically that's near the Gold Coast. That's where your billionaires, multimillionaires live with they 30-year-old wives, and they like in their 60s. And they, you know, got small kids. So let's go back. Now, the thing is, renting it out, how much would you charge a day to rent your mansion out for wedding parties and events and stuff like that? So, you got to figure, what I would do is I would rent this out for $25,000 a day. Or let's just look at it from a perspective of a mortgage. How much is this property's mortgage? Let's do some math. So basically, you would have to put down 20%, you have to put 4.7 down. Okay, 4.7 million, that is. Do it closing, they say it's 5,640,000. So basically your mortgage payment would be $159,247. So with $25,000 a day to rent this mansion, times that by 365, you get $9 million a year if you rent this out. Okay, now that's the math. Okay, now you have to be on a certain level to where money doesn't really matter to you. This mansion is, money doesn't really matter to me, but it matters to me. If you follow what I'm saying. So if money matters to you, but it doesn't matter to you, you get something like this and you don't worry about people to say, oh, I can't afford that. I can't do this. I can't do that. Because you got the most richest property in Illinois. It doesn't matter. They should be honored to give you that $25,000, and then the deposit is basically $5,000 deposit. The rest, once you basically arrive, you set everything up, beforehand. So basically, you get that money off of the strength that you have a reputation. You're not thirsty. You're not, worried about what people think, how many haters you have. You're charging $25,000 a night, a day for access to your mansion, and they cannot damage anything. And here's the thing, this is even worse. Right? You have to, in order to even get to put 25,000 down, you have to pretty much have $1 million as far as liability insurance. In case something happens, you have to basically cover liability. Now, that might be complicated. You might need a lawyer to kind of sift that out, or you might need some type of consultant to work on this, because you got people that already rent out mansions. So it's like, in that regard, you might want to reach out to somebody. You would probably reach out to somebody that already does this, because you got to understand, if they come and fuck up anything in this mansion, which people do, people have mansion parties. We already know what was going on with P. Diddy and them with mansion parties and stuff like that, right? So you got to understand, people gonna try to do what people do, and people do what they do, and they do ratchet shit. And I'm talking about everybody. All cultural people in the United States is ratchet. Everybody ratchet. So they gonna try to rent your mansion out to fuck your mansion up. So, because you got people that's haters too. You gotta understand. You got people that want to buy services from you because they want to hate you. They want to hate on you. They want to pay. It's like they want to pay to hate on you. So you will have people in business. You'll have people that buy stuff from you just so they can have an open door to hate on you, because that's just what haters do. So you might be renting out to somebody that their whole purpose is to fuck your mansion up. That's why they rented it out. That's why they want to rent it out. So you will have to have your own security that they have to pay. So they might have, basically, instead of 25,000, it might have to be 30,000 with a $10,000 security budget, because you're not gonna have your $25 million mansion unsecured. So you're gonna get a private security firm that basically, they could be some a la carte services or whatever, where they get a driver, that security, that drives them around. they have basically in the mansion, they have security outside the property, inside the property. And that's just to make sure you paying somebody to actually be there, to be like a chaperone, so they don't fuck your mansion up. And that's all part of the rental. That they get private security, like basically like a rich person, basically private security in the house, outside the home. They get a personal driver, and they got to pay $10,000 for it because, I mean, I just don't see any other way, because you pay for security to help the other people help not break your mansion up. So you gotta pay, you gotta even have like, yeah, security that's on staff. And if they give any fuss towards the security, you just call the owner, and then basically the owner gonna show up with the police. They gonna have your deposit money already ready to go in a check, and you just gonna get the hell up out of there, and you ain't never gonna be able to rent the mansion out. And you could get bad reviews or whatever, but you know, all you gotta do is write. They were, you know, unruly, and they didn't want to listen to security, so they were thrown out. So I mean, you know, the thing is that all of that you gotta understand. You gotta be able to. Part of business is dealing with haters. So if people don't know how to conduct themselves, they don't know how to act, and they unruly, you know, barbarians. You know, you got to know how to deal with those types of people, and that's kick them out. And if they put up any fuss, because see, here's the thing: these people, you got to understand. If you did do this with a property like this, it's very, very risky. The reason why it's so risky is because you kind of can't even really rent it out to a common person. You got to rent it out to another rich person, because basically, if they fuck anything up, you're going to sue them. If they're rich, they have a possibility. And even if they're rich, you might think, you know, celebrities got money, but they really don't have money as much as you think they do. And it's like, to actually verify a rich person, you'd have to check bank statements and all of that type of stuff, and contact bank advisors and stuff like that for them to disclose their information. I mean, it's a way to do that. And that goes into kind of where you would get a business lawyer and stuff like that, where they know how to, you know, confirm if a company is full of shit or not by basically releasing records, releasing bank records and bank statements and financial statements and stuff like that. Because the thing is that a mansion like this is this expensive. You don't want to risk someone that messes your property up, and basically they can't afford to even fix it up, and then they could file a lawsuit. I mean, you could file a lawsuit and get sued and win in your case, or sue them and win, but they don't have any money, so you have no way to collect. So, and then they file bankruptcy, and then you fuck. So it's like you're gonna have to fix up your property. And with mansions, I'm gonna tell you, this is why you don't want to buy no mansion. All of this stuff you see right here, let me help you out. You can't go to Home Depot and buy this shit. Everything you're looking at in this picture, you can't just get in your fucking truck or call Pablo and go pick up some fucking hardware, Menards, to fix anything you see in this photo or in this video. Well, actually, photo of this property. All of this is fucking custom. It was built by an architect. That's why, like, properties like this, you get the architectural designs and blueprints. And you better hope they still fucking make whatever fixtures you see in this photo or in the entire mansion, because if they don't make that shit no more, like say if you got mansions, right, that are old, they're like hundreds years old, 200 years old. They do have the architectural blueprints because those are passed down. Like, this shit is deep, man. Like, y'all just don't know, man. You just, what I'm saying? You just don't really, you just not exposed to it. But the thing is that a lot of these companies that make these custom fixtures and moldings and stuff like that you see in this photo, they are no longer in existence. Businesses fold all the time. So very common with old mansions, you don't have the ability to just go rebuy the stuff, that the original fixtures of the mansion. So that's where it becomes a situation where you're going into education. One of the things about some of the things you can't avoid as far as education, right? And why you got to go to university and college, right? You can't, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, definitely in the state of Illinois, I think the Indiana is the same way. You got to go to law school, you got to pass the bar. If you want to be a doctor or nurse, you have to get the required educational training, and also you have to pass the state boards. If you want to be an architect, you have to learn from an architectural firm and go to university. Okay. Now, I took about a year of construction classes. I took architectural classes, and it was worth it because I got a bird's eye view of how real estate is internally as far as construction. I understand how to hire an architect, how to hire an architectural firm and a general contractor that runs a construction company. I myself know how to get started with starting a construction company. Yes, you do need money. You need the tools. You need the equipment, the heavy lifting equipment. When you get on that level, it helps if you're part of an organization, such as like you in that level, you basically you're dealing with power and resources at that level. So you got to understand, if you got a construction company, a lot of construction companies, CEOs of construction companies are highly connected people, because a head of a construction company is building commercial buildings as well as residential buildings. You're up there with like Mount Olympus and shit like that as far as with the gods, because you're building structures and you're rebuilding existing structures. You're getting government contracts to build. You're bidding on government contracts to build. You're hiring teamsters. You're dealing with the unions. So being part of like an organization probably would help you more or less in that case, like the basically joining the Freemasons and stuff like that. I mean, I just can't, it is what it is. I mean, if I told you something different, I'll be lying to you. You don't necessarily have to do that, but a lot of people that are, basically a lot of cops are Freemasons, a lot of judges, lawyers, a lot of people are, and the country is built off of, this country is built off of Freemasonry. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, the actual baseball field, like, okay, I played baseball since I was 6 years old. No, I'm 8 years old. And when I found out, like, the baseball diamond is shaped like basically a compass, a Freemason compass. We literally getting indoctrinated from the time you're a child, whether you like it or not, till you're an adult, to deal with like basically Freemasonry. Even in the military, I'm gonna be honest with you, being in the military is basically you learning the different customs, the actual salutes, and the actual formations that you put your hands, like parade, rest, and certain things like that. You're literally learning these are Masonic signs and symbols and customs. So I'll let your mind drift wherever you want to drift, with that. So I'm just saying, like, the thing is that where all of this came from was Egypt, from Africa. They're basically learning what they learned from basically Africa and Egypt. And basically, they took it to Europe. And a lot of black people from Africa, a lot of Africans went to Europe, and they learned, took what they learned, and they taught the Europeans the ways of building, the ways of, storing food, dealing with herbs. They would bring food from Africa. This is not nothing new. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not. I used to, at one time I probably was kind of spooked out about it, but it just is what it is, man. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not necessarily. I'm not a Freemason. Okay, that's first off. But I know what they doing. I know where they got it from. It's all in their signs and symbols and stuff like that. It's basically from Egypt. It's from the Egyptians. So, it is what it is. Now, uh, you could have your own business. Your own business could be your own organization. You just gotta hire people. But where it comes a situation where it gets big, you hire people that are part of organizations, because you hiring employees. So let's say you hire someone that's a Freemason. You ain't know they're a Freemason. They may or may not give you issues. They might think that they can just, take over or not do something or whatever. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, it's a fraternity of men. Um, my grandfather was one, and he just basically, you gotta still go to work. You gotta still make your own money. That just because you're part of an organization does not mean that you still don't have to go out and get yours. You have to go out and make money. Your brothers are part of your fraternity, whatever fraternity you in. They're not going to make you no money. You know what I'm saying? You got to make your own money. You know what I'm saying? It helps. It's just like somebody telling you, okay, that job hiring. It's like a friend telling you, hey, that job hiring, or pretty much I'm ex-Navy. I mean, Navy is my fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's my, what I'm saying, fraternity or whatever. And it is what it is. Now, uh, I don't necessarily think for 1 second that one of my shipmates gonna give me a bailout or give me a whole bunch of money, help me in any kind of form or fashion. I mean, I would say that they should, in the sense that, like, if your tire stranded and then somebody drives past and they was in the Navy too, and they see that you was in the Navy, or they know you was in the Navy, I mean, it should be some camaraderie, but it really ain't like that, But to a certain extent, um, it is. You know, I do look out for, you know, people that basically were, you know, ex-Navy like myself. Um, but I would rather, like, if something happened, I'd rather for somebody to be military, former military, because they know what to do. They know it's time to pick up the gun and start shooting. Okay. Somebody else does not, they're gonna probably have problems with that. Because the thing is a hood dude that been in the streets and been shooting and running and, you know, running and gunning, he know how to do that too. He knows, okay, it's time to start shooting. You know, uh somebody that's never been in any of it, they gonna start panicking, they gonna probably piss on themselves, you know, they ain't gonna really know how to react. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's something to that. But yeah, it's when you get to a certain level, it helps to have some men by your side that is going to help your company be successful. You know, you start anything, you want to have a few good men to help you be successful. Now, all you need is funding. All you need is some money, some capital to hire people. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is really just hire people. If you could just hire people, give them a good job with benefits and some type of foundation they can work with, they will rock it out with you. But if you are not making money in your business, and then also your employee is not helping you make any money, because your employee is supposed to make your business money. You know, that's the reason why people hire employees. Okay, that's the reason why you have a job, because you make your company money. Once you're not making your company money and you're just like a financial burden for the company, they're going to possibly let you go because you're more of a financial burden than an incentive. So, you know, the thing is you ain't got to worry about all of the organizational things. You can just hire the right people for your company, and you could deal with all of that other stuff, you know, as far as you have a manager, you know, and your manager is with you and conducts meetings. Um, they know how to negotiate. Some other companies might be intimidating because they have more money than your company. All you have to do is come up with a middle ground as far as this is what you want, this is what you're willing to put up with, and that's it. You know, you know your company's value, what your weaknesses are. You know, mostly if you start out, you don't really have that much money, so you got to be very, very humble at that point. But you got to be confident. You got to be confident as well, because you want to be at the table with men that are multimillionaires, and you want them to invest in your company. You want to get your company to be to the point where you have something that others might want to invest in. That's the hardest part. Some companies do get blank checks just to go and do whatever they want to. Black businesses and startups only get about 1% of funding. So, you know, it's very, very competitive and difficult in that regard, but nevertheless not impossible. But yeah, if you get your company to where you're making some money, you basically are already there, because you could be independent. If you're independently funded, you own most of your company. So let's say you have a particular product or service, you're making a lot of money, you're making a lot of capital, you obviously saving it. and definitely reinvest in it, right? So when you're turning a profit in your business, you're making money, you're saving it, you're paying yourself a salary, you're paying your employees a salary, you're building up what basically I call momentum, and others call it as well, but I like to look at it very simply. It's momentum. So your business, let's say, has about, let's just say, $1 million in funding that you saved over a period of years. You give yourself a standard salary and your other employees a standard salary, and you have a pretty good local foothold in your locality. You're kind of somewhat known as far as your business, and you're making revenue every year, right? Well, now at that point, you got financial statements. You have an accountant. You guys can formulate some type of business report with financial statements. You can show kind of what you do. You can make some type of pitch video, um, to where you can show angel investors, VCs, other investors that this company does this. This is how much money we make. This is what we're looking for as far as capital. We need the capital because we want to actually expand and grow our business. And we're offering this percentage for this amount of share of the company. That's how you come. But you already are making money. The making money part is actually the hardest part. Obviously, that's why people are looking for funding, grants, loans, and stuff like that. But it's really not hard. You can start off. You can be a legend. You can start off with $100, $1,000, $10,000, and you'll be a legend because you started off really small. You started off with little or nothing, and you build it up. You built it up. The hardest part is actually doing the work, consistently doing the work. If you get sidetracked, try to get unsidetracked. Try to get back on the system. It starts with meditation and focus and coming up with some type of outlook or some type of goal, and then just working with that, and then just keep coming at it. Sometimes life is chaotic, and then you have to reformulate things, but it's very, very difficult. All of that is very, very difficult, and a lot to unpack with that, because most people work jobs too, and they have a business on the side, or they have something they do on the side if they do have a business. It's very, very difficult, okay? But it's possible. You just got to work with whatever business system that you can come up with to basically make some money. Whatever that business system is, you just got to scale that business system. You have to scale it up to the point where you're starting to make $100, then you making $1,000, then you trying to make $10,000, and you just keep going, and it's difficulties. I mean, it might even be difficulties that kind of have nothing to do with business and nothing to do with a lot of things, but it's just the difficulties that you already face. I mean, you could overcome it. You just gotta kind of see how you can. You kind of have to visualize, and that's where it's important when you look at people like this. When you look at people that are freedom fighters, okay, most of the people that you probably listen to are like this. Even me, I'll say it, in the trenches, trench fight. The people that you listen to like this, they're going to have a kind of a hardcore way of looking at things. The reason being is it's hard. They're in the field, they're in the struggle, so their perspective is going to be as someone that is not doing it, obviously, because they're in the trenches. And this is where people get sidetracked because they listen to people like this that's in the trenches, and they're not positive. Because the key word is positivity. See, like, I'm not negative when it comes to this topic or this discussion. You'll listen to other people say money ain't important or money ain't shit, or fuck you and fuck your money, whatever the hell the case may be, right? But that's trench talk. That's all it is. Broke talk. Okay, that's what it is. A person is basically saying, I'm wherever I'm at, I'm bearing down, but I'm in the trenches and I can't get out. And I know you out. I know you're pretty much you're out the trenches. You're not a trench fighter. And it's like, okay, it's basically fuck you and your money. I'm in the trenches grinding. That's what that conversation comes from. And that's where people don't come over on this side, because you get exposed when you come over here. I ain't gonna lie. Your filters off, man. I don't know. I mean, definitely the filters is definitely off. But I just gotta call it for what it is. Like, people come over here and they get exposed. And I thought about it. I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, why the fuck, what's the difference between my other channel and this channel? And I'm like, damn, it just hit me today. That's why people really don't want to mess with me, really, because I'm really exposing you. This channel is an exposure channel. It's kind of like JT pocket watching, but different, because JT exposed the people that's already making money, and he finds if they scamming or whatever. But this channel, it exposes, if you basically out there capping like you got it, and you come over here, you can't really talk too much, because you can talk, but if you capping, it's gonna look a certain type of way. And then if you definitely come on my panel and you capping, I'm going to ask the basic questions, and the playback. People they will see what is obvious and hear what is obvious. And damn, I just thought about that shit. Hell no, that's what's going on. So yeah, like, silly me for not really thinking about it. And I've said something to this regard before, but yeah, people don't really want to be exposed. And I understand. It's certain channels that I don't really feel comfortable coming on. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It's certain channels, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm still working on my studio, in the words of Obsidian. I'm still working on my studio, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? My studio not done yet. Maybe damn, I just lost two people watching. Maybe one of them was Obsidian. But damn, yeah, I'm still working on my studio, man. And I'm having I ain't gonna lie, my phone bill definitely, my internet bill definitely I need help. So let me put my information up. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is yeah, freedom fighters, they know more about business, because some of these people, if not most of them, are in business of some sort. Even if their business is their hobby, okay, they're in the business in some sort, and they're semi or somewhat successful. Okay, so in that regard, uh, these people tend to, if you hear them talk, they tend to make they tend to make more sense. Literally, no pun intended. They tend to make sense when they talk. They tend to talk more freely because they're talking from a strength that they're already successful. Okay, um, and yeah, I know finances is, trust me, finances it just does it to you. You know, um, it's really difficult. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's difficult, man. I get it. I get it. It's difficult. It's the most difficult thing that you gonna deal with. You know what I'm saying? This shit is difficult. Trust me, I understand how difficult this shit is. Trust me, I understand. When I saw that chick walking down the street, I talked about this earlier. She was leaving the train station. I was like, God damn, what the fuck is she walking in this cold for? And I was like, I was thinking to myself a lot of different things. Obviously, health issues, possibly. You got some women that's walking around with the package. They walking around with the goddamn it, like they got some goddamn disease. And it's like, you taking all of that in when you dealing with a woman that's struggling, possibly. You might think you done came up and got a female homosexual, but all the while she got that goddamn it, and it ain't nothing good. And you gotta like literally a woman like that, you got a motherfucking a homeless woman, you gotta be like, you really gotta rehabilitate her. If you gonna do that, you gotta rehabilitate the chick. You can't just bring her in. I mean, obviously she gonna have to take a bath. You just a nasty dude if you just gonna take a homeless chick in, and then what I'm saying, basically just straight off the street like a caveman, you just dip your joint in. I mean, you probably either already got the goddamn it or bumpy dick, and yeah, I mean, you probably already messed up. Like, I don't know, man. I can't necessarily take that risk, you know. But yeah, this guy he's looking for all the homeless women. He's probably having a field day now because there's a lot of homeless women now, a lot of immigrants.
Good morning, single women. I am single. I am looking for hugs. Not sex, but hugs. If that is you, I would like us to get to know each other and work from there. Okay? I live by myself. I have my own apartment. I just don't have a woman that's going to give me hugs in the morning. Now, if that can be you, let's work on that. Remember, I said this is only hugs. I did not say this is about sex. Okay? I'm looking for a hugging relationship. A person that lives with me, and you never have to pay rent or anything. Your pay will be giving a hug in the morning time. Let's work on that. Okay?
Yeah, so he looking for hugs, man. So like, yeah, that's who would help these women out, man. See, it's a lot of dudes like this. It's a lot of dudes like, you ain't gotta be out in the cold. All this man wanted some hot soup and some hugs. I mean, obviously he want more than that. That's obvious. I mean, this dude, man, this dude looked like a wizard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, he looked like he got something up his sleeve, but I mean, it's better than being homeless. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta understand, man. You know, a lot of stuff is better than being homeless out in the cold. You know, it's just a hurting feeling, man. You don't want to be out there like that. My man, he just want hugs, man. He an old simp. You know, he's like an old maggle. He's actually worse than that. You know, he's an old maggle that basically he wants a hug. That's all he wants. He just wants a hug. And if you live on the streets, that's all good. Just give him a hug. You know, that's all he wants. You know, my man just wants a hug.
Can I get to the news? Sweet jams.
Yeah, that's all he wants. A hug bug. Well, yeah, freedom fighters, you know, basically they know a few things. Once you get on this level, you understand, if you should understand, that making money, the concept of it is repetitive, it's boring. Running a business is repetitive and boring. That's what this life is. That's why a lot of people don't want to listen to people like myself. They don't want to listen to anybody else. They don't want to read any books. They want the money, but it's a repetitive, boring cycle. And if you're full of excitement, you got to have drugs, sex, and everything else. Yeah, it's people that do that and are in business, and quite a few of them make a lot of money. But you know, basically, for the most part, it's very boring, very repetitive, and constant. And that's if you're making, and that's if you're making money. A lot of people don't make money in business. A lot of companies don't turn a profit in business, and they're publicly traded companies as well. That's worth billions of dollars. They don't make a profit. They operate off of shares of stock shares and investment capital, in the hopes that that company will turn a profit one day. But the CEOs, executives have a high amount of salary. They have holding a lot of shares of the company. So if the company ever does IPO, they're automatically multimillionaires, if not billionaires, as soon as they IPO. So that's very, very rare. Very rare that the companies do that. On this level, if your company is doing $500,000 a year profit, or you have, anywhere between $300,000 income, $30,000 income to $1 million income every year, and you don't have to necessarily work for another company, you're a freedom fighter. Like, literally, if your lifestyle is in a sense, in a actual life, that you have a lifestyle that you only need to make, let's just say, $5,000 a month. You only need to make about, let's just say your expenses is really about $2,000 a month. Good morning, Snowman. if your expenses is only about $2,000 a month, you only need to, that's what, about $25,000 a year. So if you make, let's just say $30,000 a year, you know your expenses is about $2,000, and that includes your business expenses and your personal expenses. You are not in debt. You own your house, or you have a condo or something like that you own, or a townhouse building, whatever, and you don't really have, well, you can even have a mortgage, really, to be honest. I mean, your business, the fact that your business or whatever you do makes at least $30,000 to $50,000 a year, and you're a freedom fighter in a sense. But I would say if you have debt, it's going to be difficult to be a freedom fighter, really, because technically you're not free. That stress of you losing your property, losing your condo because you can't pay HOA fees and stuff like that, that kind of defeats the purpose of, being a freedom fighter. Technically, you're still in the trenches, but more or less a freedom fighter is just what it says. He or she has freedom. They don't have the shackles of debt pulling them down, and they have income. Okay, they're making money, and they also don't have debt, and they have enough. The key to a freedom fighter is, this is how you know you reach freedom fighter level. You don't need your job. You don't need to work. Whatever you do that's legal, legal, keyword legal, you're making enough money to pay your bills. You also don't have debt, and you're doing okay to well, to very well, to extremely well, meaning you're making millions of dollars a year or whatever, or $1 million a year. You're a freedom fighter. You have freedom. You have freedom that others don't. Most people have to go to work. You don't have to go to work. You don't have to work for anyone. You just work for your clients. You work for your customers. Yeah, you're a freedom fighter. Now, the thing is to set up yourself to where you can be a freedom fighter. I'll speak for myself. I need to make, about $2,000 a month and not have to work. And the only way to really do that, realistically, because I'll help you, you have to have enough income saved to be able to basically go on your own. Now, how can you get that money? What is the best way to get that money? Okay, you can save for it. You can save $1,000 at a time. You can, basically use the Millionaire Savings Plan to get you to that level. Definitely pick up the Millionaire Savings Plan. The reason why you want to pick up this book, because you're tired of being broke. If it comes a time that you gotta just be more tired of being broke than hating on, the broke genius. You gotta get your hate for the broke genius out and just buy the book and stop being broke. Try it out. It's not that expensive. It's on Amazon. It's on brokegeniuses.com. It's on Gumroad. It's everywhere you want to buy it, including eBay. And basically, you want to start saving some money and try to get it to the point where you're higher up as possibly you can get. Now, the thing is that that's hard to do. What are you going to do to get there faster? The best thing you could do is buy real estate. The best thing you could possibly do is buy real estate. The best thing you could do is buy real estate. You want me to say it again? The best thing you could do is buy real estate. The reason why is because you basically have a tool that forces you to save money. You got a big, giant structure that's forcing you to save money. lot of you can't save money. So the reason why you don't want to buy that bando and fix it up, because the same reason you ain't got no money, the same reason you always broke, because you know fixing that house up, you ain't gonna probably be able to get a loan for that house. Even if you get a loan for the house, you got to pay it off. You don't want to do that. You're not comfortable with doing that. And you say you want a house that's already ready to go and stuff like that. That's what you say. But you know you don't even want that either. Because you don't qualify for that. And you don't have a down payment when you need it. All of that rigmarole. But same people do the same thing every year. That's why the rich get rich and the poor get poor. The thing is the reason why I say real estate, and it doesn't matter where you are, it's the only thing that matters if you have the money to buy. Now, I'll show you, for example, I'm not going to talk your head off too much and not show you what I'm talking about. Okay, you're not going to probably be able to buy this house or mansion or whatever. That's not probably realistic. Let's go to Crook County, aka Cook County, and we're going to put in low to high. This is how I bought my house. I used to do this every freaking day. Sometimes, like most of the time. We're going to put in house. We're going to take out what we gonna do? Any sale? We're gonna hide contingent and pending offers. Okay. All right. So, for example, I know both of these places. These are places you're gonna have problems collecting rent. Okay. Now, you gotta look at it like this. This is how I look at it. Okay, this is the Wild Hunters. This is where I said it's very, very dangerous. A lot of good stuff going on. A lot of people can't afford to live here. They can't afford to also live anywhere because there's a lot of unemployment, a lot of violence, a lot of crime, and hardly any jobs and businesses. Okay, so here's the deal. This is what you got to look at it. There's a couple of things you could do. Now, some of these houses are selling because here's the thing about real estate. You're looking at it from a perspective of you, yourself, and your family having a home, just basically living there. That's what most people's idea and mindset is when they buy real estate. This is how a rich person looks at real estate, or an investor looks at real estate. So you see this red map indicator here. Okay, this is what's going on in the hundreds. You got all of this over here. You got wealth. You got the Middle Easterners over here to the west, and the white folks to the west of you. And then, you got the South Side. You got a bunch of black people. They're struggling on the right here. See, where you mess up is, as a rich person doesn't mess up, you forget all of these rich white people and Middle Easterners to the left. And you just focus on the struggle and the other people that are struggling around here. And you forget that all of these people over here got money. That's where you mess up. And you also forget you're in Chicago. Okay, it's a lot of stuff you got to deal with, but you're in Chicago. You're only about 15 minutes away from downtown because you're in Chicago. Now, what am I saying? So am I saying you need to bear down and just basically, not buy the property or whatever? Let me show you what I'm looking at here. You should not buy it or whatever. Just, just look at it from the perspective of I can't live there. If you look at it from a perspective of I can't live there, then you won't make any money. And especially people have this mindset and they're broke and they're poor and they don't want to take risks. And I get it. I totally understand if you don't want to take risks. But see, here's the thing. This house is $35,000. And you could probably offer, it's down $10,000 now. You could probably offer them 20 and they'll give you the house. So this is how an investor looks at it. A rich person. I buy this property, I get the Hispanics or whoever to basically like fix the property up, get it rental status, and rent it out to Section 8. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, you rent it out to Section 8 or even Airbnb, whatever you choose to do. You rent it out to Airbnb, okay, you got a cheap house. They probably don't, okay, let's walk through the house because I'm not just an investor, I'm a handyman. This is basically an easy job to do because this is just demolition. All you gotta do is take up the rug, whatever this is in the front here, take that shit, get a dumpster, okay. All of this is just basically interior remodeling, taking out or maybe sanding this old trim and repainting it, and you can just reuse it. Taking this carpet up, sanding the walls, and then priming it and repainting it, or putting in any new drywall that needs to be put out. Take this kitchen out, this cabinet and all of this shit. Take the floor up and take that old dingy ass air conditioner out. Figure out why that is. Does it have central air or not? Let's see if it has central air. Okay, it has natural gas. Okay, I don't see central air. So if it doesn't have central air, you can get a ducting system throughout the house. That's going to add about $20,000 worth of value to the house. So basically all of this is just, it's easier dealing with this than it is my house because you already have a complete house that just basically need renovating. Take all of this old shit out. Take this old ass sink out, old toilet out. Take the flooring up, put some new tile there, put some new tile in the sink, keep the existing tub. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just basically a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath. It just, I would say no more than 4 months, 120 days, this house could be basically on the market for rent. And you can basically rent it out through Section 8 because that's guaranteed. You're going to get your money guaranteed. Or you can Airbnb it because you're going to have people that they need this place to Airbnb. They need like a place to live, or, you know, they might want to have a small get together, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, you're going to make money off of Airbnb on this property because it's in Chicago. It's already, it looks good. It smells good. Some people are okay with living in the wild hundreds, and people that's from another place, they just gonna have to deal with it. People know how to call the police. You know, you're gonna have a Ring doorbell camera. You're gonna have another camera that is on the side of the building or something like that for security. And then boom, you know, the block is gonna be better because it's gonna have a fixed up house. And then also people gonna copy you. One of the things that I like about people copying me, and that's why I call myself the king, basically, as well as many other titles, genius, king, whatever. The thing is it's a good thing about people copying you. So when they see you buying a house, other people copy you. So they're gonna what? They're gonna move with you. They're gonna copy, and then they're gonna buy a house, and then the other people gonna copy that's copying, trying to copy them. They're gonna buy another house, and then next thing you know, you got a housing boom because you the man and people follow you, and then what I'm saying, you basically next thing you know, your property value is going up because you know what I'm saying, you just invested, by listening to some guy, that was had the day off on MLK day. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's how you do it. Now, you do that twice a year, you pretty much like you do that once, right? And then 2 years later, you made enough money off of your rentals, you saved it. You didn't have to put a mortgage up because you put your own money up. You fixed the house yourself if you're able to do so. So you probably like, okay, you out 20 on the house, you out 30 on the rehab. So you at about 50K. It took you 2 years to do it, but you done it and you was forced to do it because you were forced to put your money and your savings in the house, and you put your tax return checks up 2 years. You and your baby mama get $10,000 back for taxes. So you put up that, you stomach that, then go on vacation for 2 years, and y'all stayed with y'all in-laws or whatever the fuck, and you've got a house fixed up. You can even live in there. You'd be like, you know what? Fuck the people around here. I'm wild too. You get a Glock, get a dog, security system, whatever security measures you feel comfortable taking. You do that. Now you got a house. You ain't got no mortgage. You got, you're not living with your parents anymore. You're a responsible adult. House is fixed up. You ain't got no debt. Save up. Go buy another house somewhere else that you really want to live. And then you rent this house out and then you Airbnb it. I mean, so that's why, people get here. Let me go back here. That's why people are right here. That's the easiest way to get right there. And you won't do it. And people won't do it. People can't do it. I believe there are people that can't do this. If you're struggling, like the people that I saw on the train station, the guys that I saw on the train station, man, it's hard to come back, man, especially if it's in your mind that it's going to be difficult for you, and it's already difficult for you, and you get scared after a while, you feel defeated. It's kind of difficult, man. But I'm gonna tell you, the way to do it, the way to overcome it is kind of what I said. You gotta learn how to be a handyman. That's the best way to do it, because it's kind of like, look, this is the logic. If you want to get off your feet and not walk everywhere, learn how to work on cars, because you can get a cheap car and fix it up, and then you dealt with the problem. You was walking everywhere. Now got a car or whatever, and because you know how to fix up cars. So then same thing with a house. You tired of not having a house or whatever. The banks ain't giving you no money. You basically, what I'm saying, you apply the logic. You apply, okay, I buy this book. I'm going to learn how to save money. I'm going to try to save about $15,000. And then I'm going to get to the point where I'm on step 4 through 6 in the Millionaire Savings Plan. And I am going to basically buy a house in the Midwest. I'm going to put pressure on the Midwest. I'm going to buy me one of these houses, man, in the Rust Belt for about 15 bands that just need about 20 worth of work. and me and the homies, we gonna do it. We gonna drive and we gonna go to Home Depot and get what we need for that day. We just gonna start working with whatever we got. We gonna get a dumpster, and then basically that's how you do it. And then next thing you done made some money off of just 15,000. You had to go far to do it, but it was chess, not checkers, and you did it. You ain't just talk
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.
and you did it. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is what you gotta understand is people that already did it. They done did it years ago. They sitting on cash because they flip houses every year. And that's all they do. These people they live different parts of the country. They just so happen to have some property in Gary. That's just one of their properties. And it's I met people through my handyman that have this life where they just flip houses in Gary primarily, and they making $50,000 a flip or more. That type of money, you literally flip one house, right? You basically got enough money for what somebody makes a whole year. It just took you a year to fix the house up, or it took you 6 months, and then you already working on another flip while that one you trying to sell it and put it on the market. I mean, that's what you did. You was able to flip 2 properties in about a year, and you done made 100 grand. And you saved your money from the other houses you flipped, and you just reused that money to go get you the material, hire the people that you need to fix the property up. That's all they doing. It just you saving the momentum. You ain't go out and buy, a Range Rover, a Land Rover. You didn't go spend all your money and buy a Lambo with your money. You just kept it, stay humble, drink coffee, and basically just instead of you not having no funding for a property to fix it up and you stalling for a year or two, you take that funding from that first flip, that first sale, and you save it and you put it towards the next house. Now the next house, you already got the money to fix the house up. You ain't gotta wait. So you hit the ground running with renovation capital already in your bank. So you can actually even negotiate. You can go to your bank and talk to a banker and be like, okay, I already got this $30,000 in the bank, because you had to spend some money or whatever. You had to spend 20 to get the house or whatever, your next house. So you talk to the banker. Can I get basically the collateral? Can I get a collateral loan on my $30,000 that I have in this bank? And basically, I want a loan, and y'all can keep the $30,000, but I just need a $30,000 loan on my own money. I know my credit probably don't have the requirements for me to get an unsecured loan, but what I want is a secured loan for the $30,000 that I already have. I want a loan on that to get the money that I need because I'm trying to fix my house up. So they're gonna most likely work with you to give you a loan. If they don't work with you, don't get frustrated. Don't cuss them out. Don't spill no water in their face. Just walk, just get up and basically go to different banks, and basically once you get up, say I want to check before you leave the bank. I want to check for my $30,000, and you're gonna take that out the bank, and you're gonna get a cashier's check for $30,000. Tell them you want a check for $30,000, a cashier's check for $30,000. You don't want the cash. Just take the check, and you're gonna go to different credit unions, different banks, and you're going to talk to bankers and ask them the same deal. I have $30,000 that I need a secured loan for the $30,000. You're gonna go on a Zelle quest, and basically, whoever gives you the loan for the secured loan for $30,000, you'll basically not use your money and just use that $30,000, and you're gonna have a monthly payment attached to it as well, and you're going to pay that money towards that new property, the budget to fix that house. All the while, you still have your $30,000 in the bank, and all you have is a mortgage for $30,000 for home repairs. And the loan amount is about, let's just say, $300 to $400 a month. And you totally can pay that, and you got a loan for 30. You really got 60, but you really just got 30 that you can use for funding towards your property. And once you use that money up for the property, you basically got the house fixed up already. You got a loan for $30,000. You still got your funding, your money that's $30,000 that's in the bank. And you got the property fixed up, and you put it on the market, and you sell it for $100,000. And the total amount that you're out is $50,000. You make a profit of $50,000 plus your $50,000 investment back with a total of $100,000. So now you take that $50,000 profit, and then you go to another bank and you deposit that in that bank. And you still have the $30,000 in your account, and you still have a loan for $30,000 that you just have to pay a monthly amount, that $400. So basically, you now have $50,000. You have a debt obligation of $30,000 that's attached to your other $30,000 that you have secured for that loan. So now, instead of you basically paying the $30,000 off, you just do it again. And then now you don't have to worry about, getting no loan anymore, anything like that, because now you got a house that you pretty much flipped. You got your next house is a rental that's going to pay for, it's already fixed up and everything. It's going to pay for that $30,000 loan that you already have out there. It's like $400 a month. Your rent that you're going to be charging is about $1,200 a month for a 4-bedroom, 1 bath. And they totally happy to pay it, because it's below rental market value or just about at it. And it's totally paying the $400 a month. Automatically, it's debited out their account. You have it set up, or you have a Section 8 tenant that the government pays you, whatever amount, and then they pay the extra amount. So you get about $800 from the government directly deposited into your account. That you got a $400 profit, because basically that is a surplus of that mortgage payment or that loan payment for $30,000. and you got an extra $200 cash that they have to pay you. So that pays for the taxes and some of the upkeep on the property. And then maybe you have to pay a little bit more, and you got to pay insurance and stuff like that in case it's any fire damage or anything. So you're making total, let's just say about $200 profit every month, plus they're paying your mortgage. The government's paying your mortgage. So that's kind of how like you can do certain things to come up, because it's kind of complicated. Once you get to a point where you're on this level, you gotta be creative. You gotta be really, really creative to get out of that work cycle. You gotta be very creative. You gotta be very bold to get out the trenches, because you need capital to have some type of freedom. So you gotta be creative. If you coming from like a situation where your parents don't really able to help you, your family ain't really able to help you, nobody you know is really per se able to help you, you gotta help yourself. And helping yourself is you kind of have to use math. You're gonna have to use math to get out your situation, because you gotta get some capital to get some type of freedom, and you gotta use. I ain't gonna say you got to, but if you use, the bank's money, which is rich people's money, it can't help you. It can't help you, and then once you get that and you're able to utilize that, you're on your way. You're on your way to basically becoming financially successful. And you just do that process as much as you can and as big as you can, and just basically keep growing your cash reserves. And all the while, you're not just doing real estate, you're doing other things to make money as well. And real estate is just one stream of income. So, you might be um, doing private consulting or whatever you're doing. You're making about whatever $30,000 from doing that. So you're making roughly about $3,000 a month from that, and then you're making rental income money of like $200 or $300 a month, and then you don't have a mortgage. So basically, in your first house, so you basically just you have a life where you have more freedom than most other people, and it really is not that complicated, but it is hard to do. To actually do it from someone that's trying to do it now, or trying to do something similar, or in the possibility able to do that, it is very difficult, especially if it's just you. If you have like a wife or your girlfriend, y'all going half on a property or something like that, it's easier when there's more people involved, obviously. But if it's just you, yes, it's very, very difficult to do when it's just your own cash. Um, yeah, it depends on how much money you make. It is difficult to actually do. I mean, obviously, it's difficult. If it wasn't difficult, a lot of people would try to do it, and a lot of people have done this. Don't get me wrong. They probably are not vocal. You would never know it because they wouldn't tell you unless y'all had a conversation or something and y'all knew each other. But the thing is that that's how you do it, though. That's the secret. And I've said that many a times on this channel, and I just repeat it because maybe somebody might take heed to the lesson. Someone out there, they'll write it down and then try to do it. So the thing is that that's how you do it. That's how you get on that level where you have freedom, and then after that, You know, after you've done it so well, and you basically become going towards like the 1%. You make $5 million plus a year, $10 million a year. Your business makes that. Your investments make that, because you got multiple properties on your portfolio. You buy land and develop real estate on it, and you become an 8-figure earner. Basically, you get into the 8 figures. At that point, you're probably known by people. Your company has a certain reputation. You are getting requests for a black card. You're basically, you could buy any car you want, no problem. A car would be not even your concern. And I'm gonna be honest with you, once you have saved over 10 grand or anything close to 10 grand, car problems just don't become car problems. I mean, at least for me, I'll just say for me, because I know you could buy a car for $1,500. Even still to this day, you could buy a car for $1,500 that'll last at least a year if you're lucky, or more. So if you got $5,000 and $10,000 saved, which the statistics are, as far as the statistics on savings, let me get that for you real quick. The statistics on savings in America. So, personal savings. Okay, so the average American, and this is, you gotta understand that basically this is the average, because it's averaging super rich people, such as even these guys that make billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, chief commanders. um Basically the average savings amount of savings is $65,900. But the example of that is just the average. They say 37% of adults in the United States do not have $400 for emergency expenses. So the 37 is pretty high, and that is not race related. That is all races. 37% of Americans, all Americans. If you break that down racially, it'll probably even get worse. It might even go into the negative as far as savings, like amongst the black people or whatever, or Hispanics or whatever. Like, basically, the thing is that um, the average person might have 69,000, because all of these rich people are statistically making the average look better. But 37% of Americans have less than $400 in emergency fund. Okay, so So basically, a lot of people are on the edge struggling. And that's why I know that they don't really like to, kind of listen to someone waking them up or telling them, what's real. It's like they're trying to escape from that reality. They don't really want to come face to face with that reality. But the thing is that, basically, yeah, that 37% makes up almost half of Americans that don't have um, less than $500 in their emergency fund. They don't even have $500 in their emergency fund. So that's a big figure. That means that they have less than that. And $500 cannot do much. $500 nowadays can't even get you a full set of tires on your car. And I'm talking about the cheapest tires. You would have to get used tires. So let's say you had the need for 4 new tires. $400 is not even enough to cover that, or 500. You'll be short by like $100 because of taxes. And then they also charge to dispose of the tire. So the thing is that that's not enough money, even if you had it. And they say 37% of Americans don't even have that. So that's why this is so difficult. It is not easy. It's not necessarily hard in a sense that you think it's hard because you just give up. Again, this concept is very boring. The actuality of doing it is very boring. It's gonna be dangerous days. It's gonna be days you want to give up. It's gonna be days that you damn near going crazy. It's gonna be days that you're gonna be depressed. It's gonna be days that you're just gonna have all kind of problems. Life is not gonna stop. Life is hard as it is. Trying to make a way, trying to overcome all of these financial problems and traps and loopholes and everything like that, pay taxes and all of that stuff. It's very, very difficult. And that's why most people are struggling with it. Why people struggle is because a lot of this is psychological and it's also emotional. If you can't control your emotions, you can never save money. If you can't control your mind, you can never save money because people play off of your emotions. That's what commercials are for. That's what social media is for. People playing off your emotions to spend money, to get you to spend money. And if you're not cognitive of that or aware of that, you're going to fall victim to that. You're just going to basically be spending and wasting money on a constant basis. That's why a lot of women, because women are very, very emotional, that's why they spend money, and that's why they have all of these dances and songs to basically manipulate women to spend money, because women are very, very emotional and they're very sensitive about emotions and how they look and stuff like that. So they'll waste money on clothes and makeup and all kind of other things, because it's just very difficult for them to control a lot of things mentally and emotionally and physically. And basically, why it's hard, because the road to become basically a millionaire, what I call a gradual millionaire, is very, very difficult. It's a very difficult process for a lot of people because a lot of people have mental problems. They have mental problems focusing on one thing and one task at one time and controlling their emotions as well. And that's the hardest part, because in order to be able to save money, you have to delay your satisfactions, and you know delay your um wants and needs and desires. So that's why saving money is very, very difficult, because you also have to have your life in order. If you don't have this in order, such as what I'm talking about now, where you're seeing people don't have shelter, they don't have shelter, so it's hard to sleep. So you get sick when you can't sleep. You don't have the proper clothing, food, water. Breathing is heavy. Your health is impacted. You don't have enough money for health care. You know, family and social stability and property is an issue on this lower level. That's why it's very, very difficult for most people as well, because they're in a situation where they're not from they don't most people don't live in a rich family, right? So less than 10% of people, and that's just being modest, don't come from a rich family. So 90%, more than 90% of people don't come from a family. And it's a wide variety, of people that have no family whatsoever. They're on the streets, and they're basically wards of the state or ex wards of the state, or they were adopted or whatever, and their adopted parents don't want to help them out anymore, and they don't have anybody else. So you got to understand, this is in society. So you also have people that they do have family, but their family can't help them out. Their family is on drugs, families on some type of substance or some type of liquor that they're addicted to, or whatever, and they can't help them because they have their family is disabled. They have a disability, so you're still on your own. It's a lot of things. But then you could even come from a middle class family. Your family can't help you. Your family might be able to bail you out of jail. Okay, they might be able to do that. They might not even be able to do that. And they don't have the money to help you get a house, or help you, fix a house up, because that amount of money, only people that really have money to help you do that is people that are freedom fighters. And not a lot of people have people in their family that are on that level, and people on that level, they're not necessarily trying to give out money like that. They're just not. So that's why people have a problem. And the problem is, okay, I told you the stats. You have to get coupled up. You have to get coupled up. You know what I'm saying? I said it time and time again. You basically have to get coupled up. 76% of all millionaires are married. Okay. You out here, basically suffering from the illusion for inclusion. What you think you see is an illusion. What you think you see on YouTube with people talking and on social media is one way, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. You're not seeing what the rich are doing, what their actual behavior is. You just see what the masses are doing. The masses are in debt. I'm telling you, the masses are in debt. The masses are struggling. The masses don't have enough emergency fund. And that's who you're following, and that's what you see on a day-to-day basis. But I'm telling you, the real and raw, the statistics is basically the people that do have money. Yeah, the one of the reasons they got money because they have basically someone helping them. They're helping each other out, and you're duped to think something differently. And while you're duped and you're uh delusional about reality because you got tricked by somebody clever that most likely is here. You got caught. You got caught by somebody that's trying to keep you in the trenches just like themselves. And you forgot. You forgot basically this person is in the trenches. That's the main thing you forgot. You got to ask yourself, who am I listening to? What is their financial state of mind? What is their financial reality? If a person don't want to tell you about their finances and you listening to them basically giving you financial advice, life advice, you got to question yourself. Okay, is this person able to assist me meet my financial goals? If they're not, then I need to really focus on someone that's going to help me meet my financial goals, because this person, they're not able to meet their financial goals for whatever reason, and they're not being realistic with me, and they're not really dealing with all the way of the problem because they have a problem themselves that if they admit how much of a problem that is, they're going to lose their credibility. And this is the hard truth about reality and who you listening to, who you taking advice from. You know, you're basically following a lot of times someone that's probably struggling more than you are.